Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. Now I recently reviewed Elton John's 1993 album Duets. Now this was a series of collaborations, 16 tracks on that, with lots of different artists, some original material and some cover versions. Now I did a two-part video ranking each track out of 10, and in this short video I'm going to look at some of the comments you've sent in about the album. Now, overall, I thought this was a bit of a mixed bag. I enjoyed some of the original songs, such as the Stevie Wonder song that's on there. I enjoyed Elton's new song, Duets for One, on there. Quite enjoyed The Power, which was an Elton and Bernie collaboration, sung with Little Richard. However, there were a lot of cover versions on there, and the question I raised was, what does this really add to the original? And in some cases, perhaps not an awful lot. I would have liked more original songs and more sort of new inventions, sort of something new coming to the tracks. Anyway, let's see what you thought. Now, Beth, one of my regular contributors, says that the New York Times gave this album an interesting review, saying that it's not a deep album, but it's lots of fun. So although recorded in many different places, lots of different producers, the brisk arrangements and Elton John singing pulled together its various stylistic strands. So it's saying Mr. John's streamlined pop gospel style may be the closest that a modern pop performer has come to a distinctive voice for all seasons. So I suppose what she's saying there is that we don't have to take it too seriously. If we just enjoy it for what it is on the surface, we can get something out of this album. Now, David says he likes the duet with Don Henley from the Eagles' Shaky Ground. This was a cover of an old song from the 1975 Temptations single there. I thought it didn't really go anywhere. I didn't particularly like that song, didn't like the refrain, but each to their own. He says Elton gives a really soulful vocal performance with a gritty bite. Fair enough, yeah, okay. But maybe the production could have been a bit flat on that. I think what we get in this album is we get loads of different producers, don't we? And so there's not sort of a cohesive style that we may have seen, say, on the Leon Russell collaboration, which is an album I rate very highly, The Union. Now, Dave is commenting on the album, saying that he hasn't actually heard many of the songs, but it brought to mind for him the collaboration between Elton and Kiki D on Don't Go Breaking My Heart back in 1976. They used to appear on Top of the Pops every week for 6 weeks, miming in their terrible 70s clothes. I remember that video. It was shot in the studio, I think, wasn't it? Kind of in a record studio. But Dave is saying, I was a huge Elton John fan. To be honest, I was a bit embarrassed watching it with my family. So Dave is going to listen to the tracks and come back with a review. So I'm looking forward to those comments. Now, of course, I was quite critical, as a lot of people have been, on the collaboration with RuPaul when they redo Don't Go Breaking My Heart. Again, did we need that new version of this song? And does it add anything to the original? Probably not on both counts. And we could have had quite an interesting collaboration between the two of them on something a bit different. Chris has sent in comments saying that they would rank the album next to last in Elton's catalogue. What would be last? Maybe Victim of Love, possibly. But Chris says, that being said, I don't think it's as bad as just forgettable. Chris likes The Power, which is the duet with Little Richard. Yeah, I like that song as well. And Love Letters, yeah, that was all right. Not particularly exciting for me. The George Michael duet on the album had already been a hit. The RuPaul duet is one of Elton's worst moments, in the opinion of Chris. I think that could well be the case. I'm going to do a video shortly on Elton's worst 10 recordings, just in my view. So that could be a contender for that sort of lower 10, if you like. Chris says, I wish the album had been better, as Elton works with some really talented people on this one. True. That's my feeling as well. Look at the talent on show here. If some of those songs have been a little bit different, I think that could have been a good album. Now, here's an idea for you. I just thought of this, but Elton does this duet with Leonard Cohen. They do Born to Lose, which is, okay. But what if they'd have recorded together the title track, Madman Across the Water. Can you imagine how interesting that would have been if they'd have really gone for that? How would that have worked? Leonard Cohen would really have attacked that song and made it quite mysterious and interesting. What pace would they have taken it at? So I think there's scope for some reinterpretations of some of Elton's songs with some of these artists. Now, Eddie says it's a great album, much more enjoyable and even-handed than the lockdown sessions. Interesting. I think I prefer the lockdown sessions, actually. And in a way, I've still got to listen to that even more to get an impression of it. Got to have that maybe in the car, just listen to it casually a bit more. But I did enjoy a lot of those songs there. Eddie says the only song on the track that doesn't work was the duet with George Michael. Now, that's interesting because some people argue that's actually the best track on there. So Eddie says it's funny because wouldn't that be the most successful track from the album? Well, definitely, yes. That was more successful, of course, than the original version of Don't Let the Sun Go Down on Me. Jonathan has written in to say the album is bad, minus True Love, Don't Let the Sun, Born to Lose and The Power. So those are the standout tracks for Jonathan. Shaky Ground and A Woman's Needs are fine, but the rest are just not for me. Especially Don't Go Breaking My Heart with RuPaul. And When I Think About Love, I Think About You. I thought that was quite a nice song, that latter one, actually. But those songs are in my bottom 3 least favourite songs by Elton John. And this album is my bottom 3 albums. Okay, well, look out soon for my worst 10 Elton John songs video. I think that's probably going to be quite a lot of reaction to that one. But anyway, thanks for those comments. Now, Scooterboy says that Teardrops is better than the original Womack and Womack versions. It's quite a good opener, that one, isn't it? And of the 2 Elton versions, I like the Lulu version slightly better than the one with K.D. Lang. Okay, so that was recorded by Lulu as well. Must admit, I haven't heard that yet, but I must listen to that. The Power was used over the credits for the 1992 movie Green Fingers, starring Helen Mirren. I didn't know that. I haven't seen the film. From memory, the movie came out before the album was released, so someone from the movie must have been pretty close to Elton at the time. So that's an interesting link there with another movie. And at some stage, I must do a video on all of Elton's songs that have been used in films, not just the ones he's done the whole soundtrack for, like Friends, but just individual songs that have cropped up in films. I mean, Moulin Rouge comes to mind, for instance, where they do a version of Your Song. Now, Mario's written in with some memories from 1991 when he was 11 years old. I used to record the songs I liked on cassette tapes from the radio station. Well, didn't we all do that? And you had to try and get it just right so you missed the DJ's voice, didn't you? Over here in the UK, we used to have a show called the Top 20 or Top 30 on Radio 1. And they used to play all the tracks, and you'd be there with your tape cassette player trying to record it, the radio there, the tape cassette player here, trying to make sure nobody came in the room to spoil the track. So haven't things changed a little bit since then? Anyway, Mario got addicted to Don't Let the Sun Go Down on Me, the version between Elton and George Michael, way before he even became an Elton John fan. I didn't care about who sang the songs, I simply enjoyed them, and I sung them a lot. So years later, he gets into Elton's music and realises, what a great track this is. So lovely memories like that. It's great when a particular song evokes memories from a particular time, isn't it? And Jonathan sent in a whole load of marks for each track. So let's just go through these. Teardrops, 4 out of 10. When I Think About Love, only 1. I quite like that track, actually. The Power, 6. Shaky Ground, 5. Yep. True Love, 6. If You and Me, the Chris Rea duet, only getting 2. Again, I thought that was a reasonable song. A Woman's Needs, 5. Old Friend with Nick Kershaw, 4. I thought it was a bit better than that. Again, an original song, so I like that. Go On and On, Stevie Wonder 1, 5. Don't Go Breaking My Heart, RuPaul gets 0. Okay, so I think we know where this is going. Nothing Like the Real Thing, 1. I'm Your Puppet, 3. Love Letters, 4. Born to Lose, 7. Didn't think it was quite that good. Don't Let the Sun Go Down on Me, 9. Yeah, fair enough. And Duets for 1, 6. And in a way, Duets for 1 is the most interesting track on there because it's not a duet, but it is a new and original song for this album. Now, incidentally, I've been reviewing Paul McCartney as well recently, and McCartney 3, his latest album, there was another version of that called McCartney 3 Reimagined, in which other artists redo the whole album in their own styles. Now, wouldn't that be interesting to take an album like Madman Across the Water and for other artists to do the whole album, just reinterpret all of those songs? I know lots of other artists have done individual songs, and I'm going to look at some of those albums in a while. But to have the whole thing reimagined, can you imagine how exciting that would be? It's been done for a few songs. I mean, it could be done with Goodbye Little Bit Road or with Captain Fantastic. So there's an interesting project possibly for the future. Anyway, many thanks for your comments on Duets. Obviously not an Elton classic, is it? But it's still pleasant to have in the back catalogue, and when it's nice to put on the CD player now and again and listen to some of those tracks. I'll be back with more reviews soon. Thanks for watching. Don't forget, we're still standing.